Hi, good morning, welcome back. First, before I start, please subscribe to my YouTube channel, please comment below, let me know how I'm doing, and let me know if there's anything you'd like me to talk about. So today I'm going to touch on something that I have spoken about before, but I wanted to go back to it. It's whether or not narcissists do it on purpose, whether they're aware that they're a narcissist, whether they're aware of their behaviour and how bad it is, whether they have control over their behaviour. There's a lot of debate about this as well, and some people think that, it's a mental health illness, that they've got no control over it, that they're not doing it on purpose, or they don't realise that they're doing it. The only problem with that is that narcissism is classed with the other mental disorders, such as psychopathy and sociopathy. And these people, they have no empathy for anybody. They're just depraved. They don't care how much pain they cause people. They don't care whether they kill someone, whether they hurt someone, or they traumatize someone. It's all about them and their needs, and they're not capable of empathizing with anyone or considering anybody else's feelings or anybody else's needs. So narcissists are very similar to psychopaths, or they are psychopaths. Some people would argue that they are psychopaths, they are sociopaths, and they don't care. They really don't care. The argument to support which one they are is the fact that they control when they display their abusive behaviour. They can decide whether they're abusive to someone or whether they're not. They can, if they've got an audience, if there's people around, then they won't necessarily be abusive. So they can control that aspect of their behaviour. So in that sense, then, surely it's not a mental health illness like depression or anxiety or panic attacks or PTSD, because when people are suffering with those things, they have no control over when they feel depressed. They have no control over when they're going to get a panic attack, when they're going to feel anxious, when they're going to suddenly get a flashback. There is just no controlling those things. And yet with narcissism, narcissists are very, very manipulative. They are very they're very switched on. They know who they should be abusive to and who they shouldn't. They know when to display their abusive behaviour and when not to. When they lose control of their behaviour, that's when there is just no stopping them. They go, the mask falls off and they're completely crazy. And yet the majority of the time they can fake a persona. They can pretend to be amazing. They can pretend to be kind, caring people. They know how to maintain that self-image and how to make everybody around them believe they are amazing people, that they're kind, they're caring, they're considerate, they're thoughtful people. And yet, behind closed doors, they're completely different. They're nothing like that behind closed doors. So one could argue that, they're not suffering from a mental illness that they have no control over. They are just depraved. They do everything they do in purpose, calculated. They plan out every fine detail. And my narcissistic husband, number 2, would actually sit on the sofa opposite me and would be planning and plotting in his head. He would be going through scenes. He'd be using his hands. He'd be doing hand gestures and mouth movements and words and mumbling. And I'd look at him and say, what are you doing? What are you mumbling for? And he'd be like, no, nothing. And yeah, he's planning out these entire scenes. She'll say this, I'll do this, I'll say this, she'll do that. And it's almost like, it is a very well thought out plan. Everything they do, they think it through. They calculate and manipulate and know exactly what to say, how to say it, when to say it, who to say it to get maximum effect. So, in that sense, they are completely in control. There is no doubt in my mind that narcissists are psychopaths who are completely in control of their behaviour, who know exactly how to behave depending on their audience and depending on their scene. So, they are master manipulators. They deserve Oscars for their behaviour and their acting skills, because they can fake, in front of people for their whole lives. People wouldn't know who they really are, because they are so good at acting and so good at faking and so good at pretending to be something they're not. So, they are totally psychopaths, sociopaths. They are completely deranged. They are so calculated and manipulative. They know exactly what they're doing. They know exactly the pain and the trauma that they cause us, but they just don't care. That's the difference. They just don't care. Their needs and their comforts and their outcomes are more important than the people around them. So people they claim to care about, their own children, their own partners, their own parents, their own siblings, they claim to care about these people, and yet they always have an agenda. Whatever they do, whatever they say, wherever they go, they have an agenda, and they will fulfill that agenda whatever the cost, to whoever the cost. It doesn't matter to them. They are willing to go to any depths of depravity to achieve what they want, and no one means anything to them but themselves. They just don't care. They're just evil and manipulative and calculated and conniving and sneaky in everything they do. So, every time you doubt whether or not your partner is a narc, your parent or your sibling or your employee or your friend or whoever the narc is in your life, they know exactly what they're doing. They know exactly the pain and the trauma they're causing you and the hurt they're causing you, and they still do it, and they'll keep doing it. They will never change. There will never be any rehabilitation of narcissism. You cannot rehabilitate a narcissist. They don't care, because they don't believe there's anything wrong with them. They are exactly how they want to be, and it suits their purpose. They achieve what they want by being the way they are, by manipulating people, by hurting people, by using people, and they won't change because they love the way they are. They're happy with the way they are. They're satisfied because it gets them what they want. With minimal effort, they can achieve exactly what they want, and they know exactly how to manipulate people and who to manipulate. So I'm going to sign out now. Take care, stay safe, join my support group, Phoenix Rising, Surviving Abuse and Trauma, on Facebook. There's always a link on my videos how to join us on Facebook, and we would love to see you all there. We have an amazing atmosphere there, and we will have so much fun, so please come and join us. Take care, stay safe, speak to you soon.